All right, let's talk about unconscious fears. There's obviously stuff that you know that you're scared of. You don't want to die. You don't want to get in a car accident. You don't want family to die. You don't want to lose all your money, yada, yada, yada. And so you'll consciously avoid those things, making sure that those bad things don't happen. What I'm more interested in today is the stuff that we're scared of that we haven't really processed. And whenever we come across it, it's kind of like, you know, the little like loading icon, like your brain does one of those, like, huh, that's weird. And so what's the stuff you're scared of that you don't even realize that you are? Me, what I do is anytime I come across one of those things, I'll just take a screenshot of it. Or I'll like write it in my notes app on my phone. And you don't have to do anything. You're just like documenting. It's like, huh, that's weird. Why is my brain processing this? So this is like part of like a larger goal to like understand what's going on in my mind. Why do I do the things that I do? And so anytime you come across one of these weird things, put it in your notes app. It's just kind of like, you know, when you're driving your car and like makes a weird noise, just make a note of it. And the next time you're at the mechanic, you can be like, yeah, every time I go over a speed bump, it makes this like good dunk sound. Like, oh, what is that? And like, they'll let you know. It's like, are you slowing down before you're going over a speed bump? Why would I slow down? I'll speed up, baby. Drive it like you stole it. Anyway, let's go over some of my deepest fears that are in my notes app. I'll be open and vulnerable with you guys. The only thing I ask is I don't need you to like or subscribe or any of that garbage. I'll tell you my secrets, and if you feel like that was like raw and open enough, I got an anonymous form below. I'll tell you mine, you tell me yours. I want to hear your fears. I actually want to hear something from people this time. All right, let's dive into this. So the other day, my friend tells me, so he's leasing a horse. I didn't know you could lease a horse. Apparently, you just have like a timeshare over a horse in a stable and you can ride it whenever you want. He's like, look, I'm leasing this horse, but I just moved. And so I think I'm going to have to like end my lease. I was like, huh, do you and the horse like kind of like get along? Are you guys like cool? Are you like boys? And he's like, yeah, at first it was like he was a little bit distant, but yeah, over time, I think we really bonded. And now like whenever I pull up, he'll like, I'll see him like look over the other horses. It's like, and if it's me, he'll like let out like a little bit of a yeah, or like whatever horses do. So he's like really happy to see me. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so like one day you're going to go and you'll like never come back. And he's like, yes, I guess. And I'm thinking like, damn. So this horse is happy to see you. You've like formed a bond with him. And clearly the horse has like no concept of like, yo, you know, this is really cool, but I'm moving away. I really miss you. And I'm like thinking about this horse, dude. Like this is why I can never have a pet. I can never do any of this stuff. I already feel guilty about like not calling my parents. Now I got to be thinking about this horse that I leased once, who is like probably like still, but every time it hears a car coming up, like, oh, is that my guy? Oh no, maybe tomorrow. I'm making some freaking horse sad for the rest of his life. For how long do horses live? For fucking 30 years. Making a horse sad for 30 years. No, thank you. I already feel guilty enough of all my other obligations. I can't be worrying about making a horse sad, dude. And with a horse or like an animal, it's even worse because it's not like the owner can level with him and be like, listen, buddy, Thunder. That's actually its name. Listen, Thunder, he's not coming back. In fact, this is all a financial arrangement. I sold access to your love and commitment to the highest bidder on the open market. Sucks to be a horse. Actually, you know what? I'm cheating here because this fear of like connecting with someone and then feeling the obligation of that connection, that's actually a much more conscious fear that I have that I actively try to avoid and I'm aware of. I think the unconscious side of this in this scenario is actually being the horse of like going checking to see if they're here today and they're not, and are they here tomorrow? No, they're still not here. Like feeling like that. I'm not usually in that situation. That's also pretty shitty. Because I haven't experienced it much, but I have a few times in my life felt like this like phantom limb version of connection where you're really close to someone and just like very quickly it instantly stops, whether they pass away or they disappear for whatever reason, or like you have a falling out and consciously you know what happened, right? But unconsciously you still have that little horse inside of you that's like checking the parking lot. It's like, oh, is that them? Is that them? Is that them? They're not coming back, buddy. And that sucks if you really cared about them. That also sucks. I've seen it in where you have like resentment towards people and you have that. Cause it's just like, I think part of like when you argue with someone in your head is like, you're looking for a resolution. Dude, that ship has sailed. Anyway, I find that super scary. I find it extra scary actually because that understanding, it doesn't translate to, you can understand the crap out of whatever situation about what happened and they said this and I said that and da-da-da-da. Still like settling down that unconscious, I'm just going to call it the horse, getting it through to the horse that what the situation is, I find that unsettling because it's just like you don't know when the horse is going to get it, you know? Anyway, next one. Look, normally actually I do like a lot of like interpretation of like, here's a fear and this is the category that it falls under. Like, this is how you understand it, yada, yada. I'm not going to do that in this video. I'll let you do that. Here are all my various different personality typology traits. You can make the connections yourself. I would encourage for you yourself, like when you're making this list, don't worry about interpreting it. First, you just get the information down. It's like, oh, this bothered me. You don't have to worry about why. Let's just add it. Add it to the list. All right, number 2. So when I started YouTube, when I started becoming a full-time YouTuber, I always heard people caring about like, oh, the algorithm, the views, and all that sort of stuff. I was like, dude, I don't think I'm gonna care about that much because I can imagine caring about it also. But I was like, this channel, I'm gonna make sure that my name is not on it, that I'm talking about a topic that is never gonna be that interesting to people. And so I already know what to expect. I know it's never gonna get a bunch of views. And I'm okay with that. I've like pre-processed that beforehand. Whenever you see a video like doing well or not, like I'm here just to practice, right? Like I'm good. But that freaking YouTube studio, like if you don't know, like when you post a video, it'll tell you in like your YouTube studio dashboard, like how your new video compares to your previous videos. And it'll tell you like very front and center, like, hey, great job. This is your best video. And you don't even have to look for it. It's just like right there on the homepage. Or your video is garbage. Nobody wants to hear anything you have to say. Why would you even open your mouth? Why would you even think that anybody wants to hear anything you have to say? Anyway, that's like right there front and center of the YouTube dashboard. I will admit, it gets to me a little bit. But the part that gets to me even more is occasionally I'll watch a video. I'm like, oh, this is like cool, well done. Let me check like how many subscribers do they have? Like, okay, that's a reasonable amount, like 30K, 50K, 100K, or whatever. Let me see what they've been putting out recently. And you look at their recent videos and just like the views have completely like dropped off. And I've just been like screenshotting these. Like, I don't mean to shame these people, but I'll like put some of the examples. It's like, dude, you have 150K subs. And now like all those people are looking at you, putting out a video after video that's like not getting picked up. That's embarrassing. I'm not saying it's objectively embarrassing and you should be embarrassed. I would find that mortifying. Again, I'm not really saying like, oh my God, I can't, like, you shouldn't do that. Coming from a place of like, fuck, how do you do that? How do you still fail like so publicly? And I know it's not failure, yada. I'm just processing, I'm just like adding it to the list, right? This is something that I'm looking at. I'm like, damn, I'm like processing it. Cause I think it's like tied to, what is it that I'm scared of? I think I'm scared of coming off like I'm trying too hard. What I see with like a lot of these channels that I'm kind of using as an example is that they probably got picked up because they're like pandering to the audience, right? In the, oh, this is the latest thing that people care about, or like 10 ways to blah, 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 blah. Like that's my fucking nightmare. I just imagine like stopping people on the street. It's like, hey, 10 reasons why you're an ENFP. 5 ways to seduce an INTJ or whatever. like that is that's my nightmare. And I think I'm unconsciously taking 2 lessons from it. And one of them is good. I think the good lesson that I'm taking from it is that because you can't control like the outcome of what's going to happen on YouTube, whether an audience will drop off or whatever the hell else. I think it's really important to express the thing that you want to express and have it be art in that sense. And to like not lose track of that. And I think the YouTubers that I really like the most, Caroline, what's her name? Winkler. I love her. And another one I like is Kelsey, like fitness, whatever person. So I guess what I'm saying is that as long as I'm a female lifestyle blogger, I'll be fine. All right. Okay, so and I think the bad lesson that I'm taking from this is not being a tryhard. I think one of the things that I find very embarrassing is desperately trying and then failing, because it's kind of like going after someone that doesn't like you. You know, I've done that twice in my life. And one time I did it really bad, and that was recently, where I liked someone and I feel like I just kind of pursued it in an embarrassing way. Like on one hand, you know, I'm like glad I like someone and I went after that or try to make it work and all that business. But on the other hand, if you see that the person's like not reciprocating and you're still like putting yourself out there like again and again, you're just overextending yourself, you know? And And like, then if you come to hear like, I don't know, you come to hear just like it's being received in a way that you're starting to be the butt of jokes and stuff, then it's just like, fuck, why did I, ugh, bleh. Anyway, I'm not talking about that anymore. Ugh, fuck, why did I do that? It's so fucking embarrassing. But you live and you learn. And the lesson is never let anyone see you trying. I'm kidding. 50%. I'm saying this like half in joke because that actually is the lesson I took from it. That is not the lesson that I want to take from it. But you got to be honest, like, right? Like, that is one of the things that I took from that. And I want to probably undo that at some point. All right, let's move on. All right, this is the last one. This one's a little bit dark. So I was sitting at a cafe in England. It's one of my favorite cafes. Get my coffee. I pull out my laptop. And before I dive into work, of course, you got to do a little scan around the cafe, size up the competition. Can I absolutely be certain that I'm better than everybody here? Okay, you got a stupid hat. You got hot sauce on your face. All right, you're reading that book. I read that when I was 12. Sugar in your coffee, no taste, and your face looks stupid. All right, now that my soul is content, and just as I'm like diving into work, like one of the guys that I looked at is getting up, and I notice he's in a wheelchair, and his brother reading the stupid book like gets up and like rolls him out. Obviously, it's very understandable to have like a fear of being relegated to a wheelchair if you're used to walking around, right? That's very common. I think what struck me is that his brother or whatever was like pushing the wheelchair. And I just imagine like my brother doing that and like my brother who's like not Mr. Helpy Helperton, no offense. I think he could agree with that. I could maybe manage the wheelchair. I could not manage the getting pushed by someone I care about, you know? I would just feel like, fuck. I would just feel like, dude, just let me go. Like, obviously I don't really feel that. If that dude who was on the wheelchair expressed that, I'd be like, dude, it's not a big deal, yada, yada, right? It's like it's not a thing. But I know that I would, in that position, I would feel like that. I would feel like I don't want to be a burden. And obviously it's not a burden, yada, yada. Like, I see that side of it too, right? But like, I just don't like that. That's why it's on the list. I got to think about it. Anyway, so this video is how to put yourself in a K-hole on a Saturday morning. Hope you enjoyed it. And maybe we'll do a deep down psychological analysis of like where all this stuff comes from. I'm sure a lot of it is pretty obvious, right? If you're used to personality, blah, 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 that this channel is about. Anyway, I actually do want to hear your fears. Focus on like not the stuff that's obvious. Tell me about some weird stuff. Tell me some weird things that you're scared of. The stuff that you didn't think that you would be scared of. The stuff that, what is it called when you get sideswiped on the road? Oh, the stuff that blindsided you. The stuff that you didn't expect to feel really bad about, that you ended up feeling bad about. That's what I want to hear. Anyway, that's the video. Catch you guys next time.